We want to talk a little bit more about this and bring in our legal analyst and civil rights attorney, Areva Martin. Areva, good to see you. A confession is pretty convincing as a piece of evidence, but we also know that false confessions do happen for a number of reasons. What is your reaction to this interview?
You're right, Phil. False confessions do happen, but this is going to be a really difficult claim for Dwayne Davis to make. He wrote a book, a memoir, in 2019 where he basically confessed to the killing. And now for him to say, I didn't read the book, I was under duress to write the book, the police fed me information, it raises a lot of credibility questions. Now, obviously, this case has some holes in it. The prosecution has never recovered a murder weapon. As far as we know, there are no eyewitnesses, so it's a very circumstantial case, and it's the confession of Dwayne Davis. But the prosecutors remain steadfast that they believe they have enough evidence to convict Dwayne Davis.
Yeah, there was that memoir, and then also the piece of video that Aaron played in his story of him saying, yeah, the shot came from the back, but I'm not going to really talk about it. There are things like that that stack up on each other. As it stands now, how strong do you think their case is against him?
I think the case is really strong. Look, the prosecutors have been working on this case for decades, sometimes more robustly than others. But this is a case that has eluded law enforcement for decades. And now to have made an arrest, to have a confession, to have a book, to have a videotape of someone making the confession, I think it's going to be very difficult for Dwayne Davis to walk back his confession, walk back what he wrote in that book. So I think the prosecution's case is strong at this point.
And so what happens technically now? Davis is retracting his confession. What happens next in the case?
Well, the case will move forward. Pretrial motions will be set. A trial will be set. He's not doing himself any good by giving all of these statements because all of these out-of-court statements can be used against him if he does agree to testify in his own trial. It's very unusual for a criminal defendant facing such serious charges to be giving an interview from behind bars. These are very, very serious charges, and I'm just shocked to see that he's willing to talk about the facts of the case in such a cavalier way and to contradict himself from what he said earlier to the police and in this book.
Yeah, I know so many defense attorneys who would just cringe at seeing that interview. And Areva, we're learning about brand new charges for P. Diddy. A new superseding indictment accuses Sean Diddy Combs of subjecting employees to forced labor under inhumane circumstances. These charges just keep coming. How are you expecting it to play out?
Yeah, we saw the charges against P. Diddy and Jay-Z be dropped by the female who alleged that both of them had raped her. But there are so many what appear to be credible claims against P. Diddy. So although he had some success with that one case, I suspect all of these cases are going to lead to serious legal jeopardy for him from a civil standpoint, because these are civil lawsuits. People are seeking money damages. We know he's a wealthy record mogul, so I suspect that there's going to be a lot of out-of-court settlements, and there actually may be some trials on some of these claims. And we know he's awaiting his criminal trial that's scheduled to take place in May in New York.
Areva Martin, we thank you for your expertise as always. Appreciate it.